Hey, peeps, we got Chelsea transfer news all over the place. We got a big match versus Man City coming up. And we've also got a big event coming up that if you're in America, outside of America, you're going to want to know about it. So to talk about that and more, of course, it is friend of the show, Dylan Polk from Carefree, Louisiana, and Chelsea in America. Dylan, are you hanging in there with the snow?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Record-breaking snow in New Orleans for like a 135-year record was broke.
Woo! Well, records to be broken, but I don't know how many snowmen we want to be building right there. But check it out, Dylan. Let's get to some things real quick. All right, Matt Law of the Athletic. Now he's reporting that Chelsea are considering selling a host of players to try and fund a big January signing. Now, before we get to some take them or shake them, some players you want to keep, lose, how are you on this philosophy right now with Chelsea?
I mean, if we've got certain dead weight that could need to go to fund something that's going to make sense, everybody knows we have a slightly bloated squad as is. So if we can put ourselves in a situation to get rid of a little bit of that bloat, who we know is not going to be a starter, and make a little bit of profit, it only makes sense to me.
Mm. Yeah, speaking of someone we were trying to sell to make a profit, now we're going to go to this last game real quick, briefly. Of course, Chelsea back in the winning ways in the Prem after sitting pretty in second place early December. We faltered 3-1. Trevor Chalobah comes back, a player that we had loaned out. Crystal Palace, we bring him back. But word on the street is we still going to be done. He was man of the match. He put out at least 3-4 fires by himself single-handedly. Are you down to make a profit on Trevor Chalobah?
Not at the expense of us not making top four. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, he came in, he offered stability. They still let up a goal, which they didn't need to do, but he came in and immediately made an impact on the game. And if we're going to have Fafana out for continued weeks, Botticelli out for continued periods of time, it only makes sense that we form a partnership with him and let them run. Um, the form that Chalobah had at the end of the season last year gave proof to who he was and how great of a player he was. And um, I think they thought they had better players um, in Fafana and Benoit, but it didn't. It's not working out. The same thing for Axel Disasi. So in my head, two of those guys could easily go and allow Trevor to stay, and we wouldn't even have to worry about the profit.
Yeah, I'm definitely I guess I have a soft spot for Trevor. I just remember, he's academy boy. Remember his first goal, how emotional he was a couple years ago. It's just I get the pure profit, but I just think maybe we go a little bit too far sometimes with it. And Fafana, speaking of Fafana, of course, one with Dylan Polk, one of the founders of Carefree Louisiana and member of Chelsea in America. Fafana has returned to light running, but still is not expected back till the end of the season. Are you starting to be concerned with Fafana's long-term health? I mean, I thought it'd be part of the picture as well, but what is your thought? What are your thoughts? Forgive mine.
I mean, I think he's always been a concern for long-term health. I mean, he's one of those players. I can't pinpoint games where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so glad we had Wesley on the team because he's been injured so much. He became like a consistent situation like Reece James was or Ben Chilwell. That we just kind of put him on the back burner, and I haven't really been thinking about him. So in reality, like him coming back, great. That means that we're going to tiptoe him with games and give him minutes here and there when you can. But the problem is he's a center back. He isn't a midfielder that you exchange, whenever you want in games to create and work with stability in the team and rotation. But with center backs, those guys normally need 90 minutes at the back. And I don't know, I guess it's going to be cup games, but as our cup games go along, they're more and more and more important. So I don't see how Wesley shakes into the team if Trevor and Levi end up forming this partnership that I think they can.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That's the partnership on paper that I was excited about, but turns out that's just not going to be for us. All right, on paper, our match coming up. For me, this is a big test, depending on where we are as a club, how far we've come, perhaps catching Man City. Of course, it's a 9:30 Pacific game, 12:30 Eastern. Nice time for us on a Saturday. That's going to be a beautiful time at the pub. But Of course, Man City started poor form. They've seemed to have shaken out of that just in time, of course, to face Chelsea. Jesus. What are your thoughts on this match, Chelsea versus Man City? And how important is it to you in terms of where we are as a club?
Honestly, they've found form again. They're doing Man City things. I think it's a good time to be playing them as far as how our schedule goes. I'll be happy if we get a draw out of it. I want to point out, and you probably haven't thought of this, and probably most of your listeners haven't either. The last
Mhm.
time that we beat Man City, not drew, but beat Man City, was the Champions League final that we won against them.
So it's funny. I went back and looked Premier League wise. I always look last 5 games, and I know those were no wins. You know what I mean? A couple of draws. We had some stuff. The Premier League final where my man Rudiger smashed Kevin's fake jaw in or cheekbone. That was the last time we beat them. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Champions League final. Yeah,
Yeah.
Champions League final 1.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, that's been a minute, man. I mean, a kid could have gone through college by then, Dylan, if you're keeping track at home. You could have had a kid go all the way through college and been graduated or high school, however you want to look at it. Yeah, that's a long time, man. That's a long time. Now, before we get into take them or shake them, some players you want to keep or do you want to sell? I just want to spend a little more time on this. Our striker situation. And you'll answer a little bit of this and take them or shake them, but do you feel Chelsea need to make a big move in this window before it closes for a striker?
I mean, it depends on what we're doing with Christopher Nkunku. I have no idea what's going on there. Obviously, they don't view Mark Gahey as the finished item, or he'd be getting more and more minutes in the league, and he's not the situation's doing that. I think we're one Jackson injury from probably having problems up top. So I think the answer is a resounding yes. If we're gonna be getting rid of some players in the back that it seems like we're doing. We're getting rid of Cassidy. It looks like in the midfield, we're gonna have to add some players in the glaring positions that I know we've needed help for months. Have been a backup striker, a center defensive mid because Lavia has been injured, and we loaned out Leslie to Southampton and a center back. We've addressed the center back situation already, bringing Chalobah back. So I'm hoping that we recall Leslie from Southampton, and I hope we bring in a striker. If we do those things, it at least shows me that we're trying to get to top 4.
Right, exactly.
Because right now it's a dogfight. It's a dogfight for top 4.
It's a dogfight. Yeah. And I believe you and I both, I believe it was at least a month and a half ago when Chelsea were in second, and we both agreed, listen, we're not title contenders. Let's just focus on top 4, y'all. Come on.
All I keep preaching is how bad our defense is, and I'm going to keep preaching it because there's no reason that we should have not walked away from playing against Wolves without a clean sheet.
True that. All right, let's do something that you and I did back in June. Different names, some of the same faces, perhaps different answers from you. This is take them or shake them. I'm going to name a player. Some are Chelsea players, some are not. So if it's a Chelsea player, you want to take them or, get rid of them, either loan or transfer, whatever. Just give me a quick thought on them. And if they're not a Chelsea player, would you like them? Let's start with someone that is not a Chelsea player. Alejandro Garnacho, a 20-year-old winger, 3 goals and 1 assist for Man United. And he's been rumored linked with Chelsea in the past. Alejandro Garnacho, take him or shake him, Dylan?
Depends on what Man United wants for him. Depends on, is he replacing Mudryk if we're not going to be able to play him? But as of right now, shake him.
Okay. Yeah, I think he might be a major replacement in the
I think Mudryk's just put as much numbers up as he has. We've already got him. I already have somebody that's putting those numbers up.
But we don't. But if that B sample comes back positive, we don't have Mudryk. So that's, I think, with you, that price tag is a big factor in this. Like, I'm not paying him. He's 20 years old. He's not going to start.
If it's 50 million pounds, we've got to have to get rid of somebody. I don't know right now. Shake him. No.
Okay. Well, speaking of getting rid of someone, this name has come up lately in links to other teams. Joao Felix, take him or shake him.
I really wanted the kid to do some things, and then Maresca says that he has the ability to play well, but he doesn't give him the minutes to do it. So either he's telling us one thing and he believes another. I feel like we've given this guy enough shots to try to be better, and he's not been it. So I say shake him.
Yeah, I think he finds himself in a similar position as the next player I'm going to mention, in Goku, where his best position is probably a 10, but guess what? We kind of have a 10. Jao isn't a true left winger, but he likes to play on that left side. So I think it's just tough for him to find a spot in the system, which makes me wonder how much control like Maresca has in bringing these players in. If you have bringing in players he can't fit. So speaking of that, Christopher Nguku. He's on every take him or shake him we seem to do, but take him or shake him, Christopher Nguku.
Take him. There's nothing negative you can say about the player with the exception of his attitude. The last couple of games that he's gotten minutes in, he seems lazy. He seems like he doesn't care, like he doesn't want to be there. If he didn't want to be the number 2 striker or number 2 in this position at Chelsea, then why did he sign with us? He signed, he got injured. We believed in him. We've given him minutes. He's gone back in. He's been fantastic for us in the cup games. But he also has to look in the mirror and realize he's not going to be the same as Nicholas Jackson. He's just not. If he could come in and have that super sub attitude and come in and want to work when he gets 20 minutes at the end of the game when we need him, when Jackson's worn himself out, then all power to him. I want to keep him, but the attitude's on him.
Yeah, the attitude is why he probably didn't see any minutes the last game where Jackson played the entire game for one of the first times in the Premier League. You mentioned his name earlier, but Axel Disasi, take him or shake him?
Shake him. The easiest to shake him on the team right now.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not smiling about him. I'm not smiling. What's funny about it?
There's nothing funny about it. I agree. I mean, you know the nickname, and I think last time we talked about call him Disaster on different message boards. I think, and he's had out of most of our center backs, I think he's had the most rope when in doing poorly. You know what I mean? I think he's had the opportunity. You've given him starts. You've given him every opportunity to prove himself, and he just hasn't. Like I've been
not good enough. Not good enough.
All right. A name that we don't have, Alexander Isak, striker. Take him or shake him at a price tag of 100 mil or more.
I think he's currently the best striker in the league. If we're gonna be really honest, but I think that a lot of that plays into that he works with Gordon, who facilitates a lot of really good things for him. 100 million, huh?
That's at least
Well, to be fair, it's not my money. So if we've got the money to spend on it and we can get the best striker in the world, go. Like,
take him.
Yeah, okay. But like that also means that we're getting rid of some people. So tell me what the expense is. Like, I love what Jackson's doing. My thing is we'd have to completely change our lineup to be able to feature Jackson and Isaac. I don't know how it works, because one of those guys is going to be really unhappy and want to go.
How about another striker? This one, a youngster, Ipswich Delap, the youngster that we saw feature against Chelsea and did well. Take him or shake him?
Look at his stats. I mean, he's done some cool things, and but also he's not going to get his team out of the relegation zone this year. They're going to go back down. I think he's got a really good potential. Do I think his potential dictates that he goes to Chelsea next year or this season? Man, maybe in 1 or 2 years, once he's found his feet a little bit more. I just don't think – I think there's strikers that are out there for the same kind of money, if not a little bit more, that you have a greater potential with. Not saying that Delap's ceiling isn't higher than others, but no.
So shake him.
Shake him.
All right, shake him there. All right, hey, this is a guy that got the start last game, Dewsbury Hall. Take him or shake him?
Shake him.
Okay, hasn't
impressed. I don't understand that. I don't understand that purchase. I don't get it. It's like, I feel like Leicester said, "Hey, you can have our manager, but you're taking this guy too." He's barely gotten any minutes. He doesn't do anything with his minutes. If some argue that he was a replacement for Conor Gallagher, I don't understand what he hasn't. No, absolutely not. He's just taking up money on the books.
Okay. All right. Hey, and listen, and of course, Dylan Polk, if you know what this man's a part of, if you're a fan of Chelsea in the U.S. or abroad, and you want to be part of a great Chelsea event, and check out one of the coolest cities in the States, in my opinion, New Orleans, by the way. The 4th annual Blues Day is coming up, and it's a game versus Aston Villa. That's February the 21st to the 23rd, that whole week. It ain't just a day, y'all. You get the whole day. It's Blues Days. Our friends from London is Blue Podcast will be there. They're doing the live podcast from the pub.
They're going to do like a little pregame match experience, a little trivia, a little prize winning.
Nice.
We're just going to have a little fun. We've also got the guys from the Chelsea Against the World podcast out of the Nashville area coming down. They're going to do a little live podcast from our meet and greet that we're doing at an old historic home in the Garden District of New Orleans. We're going to do that. We're going to have an open bar, like real Cajun Creole cuisine being cooked with gumbo and jambalaya on deck. And then when all that's over with, then we're going to go to some parades that night.
Yeah, and so this isn't just a one-day event, though. Tell me about it. It's a Friday, Saturday. You even got something on Sunday jumping off?
Yeah, man. So I just mentioned Friday. Saturday is going to start at the pub about an hour or so before the match because we imagine people are going to take Friday into the night. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you if you're coming to New Orleans? So we're going to have a little thing hosted by the guys from the London is Blue podcast. And then we're going to have the match versus Aston Villa at our pub. And after that, there's Mardi Gras parades all night. Yeah, it's in the middle of Mardi Gras season, and so you can do whatever. But we're also asking people on Sunday if they'd like to. We've got multiple guys in our group that are tour guides. So if you'd like to do a tour of the historic homes in New Orleans, you're more than welcome. If you want to do ghost tours in the French Quarter, it's an option. Or if you want to go to the World War II Museum, we have a current Marine that would be glad to give a tour of anybody willing to come in town to go to the World War II Museum that's in New Orleans, which is a top museum to go experience in the country. At least I can't speak how amazing the place is. But long story short, if anybody wants to hear about what Blues Day is, go to carefreelouisiana.com. You can go on the website. You can see the schedule and itinerary of the weekend. You can go on there and help support the event because we do put it on for free for anybody that wants to come. But we ask anybody that's coming, hey, if you want to donate, you're more than welcome. For every $10 that you donate on the website, you get entered one ticket in to win a signed Gio Francazzola jersey. And then any funds raised in excess of the cost of the event, we're going to give to the victims of the Bourbon Street New Year's Day tragedy. And then also we have a shop online as well that's attached to our website. If you want to buy a Blues Day t-shirt or any of our swag, you're more than welcome to go and take a look. And that's the event.
That sounds amazing. So you get to be a part of a cool time watching the game with some great people, great event. You get to go to one of the coolest cities, like so many things to do. I've been to New Orleans 3 times. Every time I go, I French Quarter, like I've done something different every single time, and I still haven't seen enough of it. And just great causes, like you say, helping out victims of tragedies and just being a part of a really cool event. It's Blues Day, the 4th annual Blues Day. Give the website one more time, Dylan.
carefreelouisiana.com.
carefreelouisiana.com. Of course, that's February 21st through the 23rd. Lots of cool people going to be there. Going to be a great event. All right, before I get you out of here, I should have did this earlier. Your Chelsea versus Man City prediction score.
1-1.
Okay. So we still ain't ready to beat these boys since 2021. We just think we ain't ready.
They're coming into form. We're kind of off of form right now. We're battling some injuries. We don't have Enzo. We don't have Lavia. Cole Palmer's apparently been fighting something. Back in the back, Sanchez is doing weird things with his hands. I'm just not 100% sold that we're going to go out and beat Manchester City, who looked against their last opponent like they were back. And that, I don't know, putting six goals past anybody is a statement game. I don't know. I think it'd show exactly where we are and what we're fighting for if we can get a draw versus City. I think, obviously everybody wants to win, and I could easily say, Chelsea's going to win that. But let's be realistic. Manchester City won the league. On their day, they can beat anybody in the world. Let's go get a draw and move on.
Yeah. I feel you there. Getting some out of this game, getting a point out of this game would make me feel good as well, and make me feel better about our hopes of holding on to top 4. Well, there you have it. Dylan Pope, Carefree Louisiana, believe in Chelsea, excuse me, and Chelsea in America. I'm Rod Groves, believe in Chelsea FC. And as always, let's get it, Blues.